What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt. I'm Derek, and I guess we'll just dub this franchise Wednesdays. But yeah, continuing on with my Phantasm reviews, we have got Phantasm 2, directed by Don Coscarelli, and this was released in 1988, a little over 9 years after the original. Now, spoilers are coming. Be ready for them. Super quick plot synopsis. Mike and Reggie hunt down the tall man in search of a girl who is psychically linked to Mike. Alright, who is in Phantasm 2? We of course have Angus Scrimm as the tall man. R.I.P. I'm going to say that every time. James LaGrosse as Mike. Reggie Bannister as Reggie. And then Paula Irvine as Liz Reynolds. Okay. So, what is good about Phantasm 2? The opening picks up right where 1 ended. And I thought that was the right choice. Because the way the first one ends, you're like, what the heck's going on here? And to provide more context for that and then actually continue, there is some continuation from the ending of the original Phantasm. Definitely the right choice to make. This one, it's more of an on-the-road movie. They're traveling a lot in this movie. Whereas before, it would just be like they're going to the mausoleum or something like that. No, they're literally like traveling the freaking country or like states, just looking for the tall man. This movie also has way more action than the first movie. And I know some people, it just depends, view it as a good or a bad thing. Me, obviously, it's a good thing. I definitely like a horror movie where there's a good bit going on. Action, I'm never gonna turn that down, especially with what this movie gives. But I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. We get more CUDA. That car, seriously, it's just, damn, it is so nice. It's just awesome. Even though I've noticed thus far, it's different. It's not the same CUDA. We'll just leave it at that. The golden sphere, or the gold sphere, that comes out of the tall man. Awesome. It's got lasers. It's got all kinds of new stuff. So it's just up in the ante. The quad shotgun. Yeah. When I was going through and watching these, I realized why I love the Hydra in Resident Evil 5 so much. Because subconsciously, I fucking love the quad shotgun. And even though it's a 3-barrel versus a 4, still bitching any way you slice it. The tall man's death was brutal, and it made it awesome. I think that was where they stabbed him with like the embalming fluid. Hopefully memory serves correct on that. But, yeah, it was a good final death for the tall man. Okay, alright, what is bad about Phantasm 2? Okay, right out of the gate, a big issue that I know Jacob and I have talked about in a bunch of our other reviews, and it would be criminal not to mention it in this one, recasting. Fucking recasting. Fucking Universal. All because they wanted their horror franchise. They wanted that Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Child's Play, whatever. They wanted it. They wanted that. And they were hoping Phantasm would become that. So, originally they wanted to recast all the main characters, but Don put his foot down, and they were able to keep one of the two, and they had to recast Mike. Now, I thought James LaGrosse did a good job as Mike. I really did. But I did not like... I'm just not a fan of recasting. And something tells me we'll be talking about that again, too. Huh. Okay, one thing I just realized I actually do not have in my notes that I'm going to talk about is when Mike gets out of the psychiatric hospital and Reggie's like driving him back, and then Mike's like, no, wait! Has a psychic vision that Reggie's house is going to blow up and his wife and daughter are inside. Reggie moves on pretty quick, like unrealistically quick. And really only mentions him a few times moving forward, especially in key spots where it definitely deserves to be mentioned. But I know that's other movies. This, I don't know. Wasn't a fan of that. If anything, just have Reggie be a single dude. Like, there's other ways around that. The ending. The ending with Mike and Liz being, like, pulled out of the back. I believe it was the back of the hearse. Now you're just taking the same ending from the original and not doing it as good. Not doing it justice. So I felt that was just a little lazy, if I'm being honest. This movie does explain more of the plot, because if you watch the first review, you know I complained. I was like, what is the plot? Like, 100%. It explains more of it, but you're still like, what? What? It still just doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. I'll just be honest about that. Generally you would want your dots to be close together, so then that way people can follow it. This, it's not like A, B, C. It's like A, B, C, D, and you don't know which way to connect it, so you can get confused really easy. And yeah, I don't know. Moving on. Last thing, Reggie tosses the quad at one point. Why? You put that work in that thing. You've got it literally shaped like this. You can ram people with it, musket style. You put all that work into it. You don't just toss it. Something tells me I'm going to be bitching about that again here in a little bit. So, rewatch by review. Would I rewatch Phantasm 2? Yes, I would. Despite my complaints, it is still a fun 80s action horror movie. Would I buy it? Already did in that box set I mentioned in the first review. What score am I going to give Phantasm 2? I am going to give Phantasm 2 a 7. This movie, while a downgrade from the first, is still fun and can be pretty creepy at times. I do thoroughly enjoy this movie. Yeah. That'll do it for Phantasm 2, guys. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on Phantasm 2. Save the rankings for later on. It's coming. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed yourself today, and consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. But until next time, have a good one, guys.
From the crypt, his voice will rise.